Welcome, everybody, to another Super Saturday sponsored by Zango University. And as you know, our true passion, our true mission is to empower others to achieve what they want to achieve. And only you know what that answer is. Eddie and I are blessed to have been in Zango now. My goodness, it's almost our anniversary. November the 4th, which is coming up in just a few days, will be our 14th anniversary. Oh my goodness. And it seems like yesterday. And, you know, it's interesting. Some of you that are on the call today, some of the leaders who are, grandparents in Zango, remember the days when all we had was a 6-page fax. 14 years ago, for goodness sakes, how many people had a fax machine in their home? In fact, how many people today have a fax machine? And yet we built a monster. And I really, truly believe if you want to predict the future, just look at the past. And 14 years ago, we launched a product made from mangosteen, which is the national fruit of Thailand, that really most people never heard of unless you visited that part of the world. And people used to say to me, oh, mangosteen, mangoes, I love mangoes, I eat them all the time. And I'd say, no, it's not a mango, it's a Jewish mango, it's mangosteen, and the monks have been using it since the beginning of time for healing. Well, if you think about where we are today, and of course you know we did $2 billion in sales in about 4 or 5 years with our flagship product, and if we now look at where we are today compared to 14 years ago, because the truth is, mangosteen is antiviral, it's antifungal, it's antibacterial, it's anti-tumor, it's anti-inflammatory. But everybody is different, and everybody gets results in a different way. My friend Cheryl, who's on the phone, she got results like in a week or 2 weeks. For me, it took 90 days for my migraines of 32 years to dissipate. And that was 32 years taking drugs. Now let's fast forward to 2016 with the 2-minute miracle. Think about it. A product that gets results 100% of the time on 100% of the people in 2 minutes. So here's my prediction. If we all do what we know we can do, I really believe this next wave of success stories is going to be bigger and faster than what we've done in the past. Do you agree with that? So our job and somebody's not muted out, so please mute yourself out because I can hear the clicking. So our job is to help you accelerate your goals. But there's certain things you have to do because it's not going to happen without engagement. It's not going to happen without income-producing activities. And we're going to talk about some of those today because I promise you, if you do what we teach, you cannot fail. So no matter what you're doing, it does not matter whether you're working your business 7 to 10 hours a week, which is most people, because the tax advantages are huge. Most people have no clue about what is legally deductible. And if you go to Zango University, in the prospecting tools, you'll see my good friend Sandi Cohen, who's a CPA. He's a tax attorney who trains other tax attorneys, and he's a former auditor for the IRS. You would be so shocked at what you can, in fact, set aside every single month legally. But if you're going to spend your time and your money to build your business, would you agree you want to maximize the results in the shortest period of time? So preparation is critical. I don't care whether you're going to be a real estate agent or an insurance broker or a pharmacist or a school teacher. I remember when I was a school teacher, lesson plans. Oh, my goodness, we had to prepare and submit them to the principal a week in advance. So every profession requires preparation if you want to be the best that you can be. Now, everything starts when you emit your own frequency. And, you know, I know there's some people on the call that are so into the law of allowing and the law of prosperity. And I met a woman by the name of Esther Hicks 25 years ago when we were $450,000 in debt. I mean, at the age of 52. And it's amazing how intention creates magic. And it has to do with our vibration. And even Albert Einstein talked about vibration. So intention is critical. And I do my handwritten journaling of intention before any call I do, before any meeting I do, before any event. And I challenge you to try this because it's almost like magic. You know, what is your intention? What do you want the universe to bring to you? This is one of my favorite sources forever. I just love Mrs. Google. And it has to be a female because she is so smart. But Mrs. Google knows all. If you're searching for events, if you're searching for events in your area, like fairs, especially holiday fairs at churches, at synagogues, craft bazaars, business connections, women's events, beauty schools, Toastmasters, Mrs. Google can tell you where all this is happening right in your own backyard. Now, Eddie and I have been doing these trade show events. Gosh, it's got to be probably about 23 years. And how do you learn? You learn by experience. So trust me, when I tell you I know what works, but I also know what does not work. And some of those events cost us thousands of dollars for a weekend. But you can also do events that are free. You can do events that are $50 as well. So in Zango University, if you're a member, and if you're not, have no clue why you're not, but I did a whole section in the electives area on how to do an effective trade show. Because there's a poor way to do it, there's a good way to do it, and there's a best way to do it. So if you're going to spend your time and money, which would you rather do to get results? And part of that is image. So think about it. I'm sure you've all walked down the aisle of trade shows, whether it be consumer electronics, whether it be a car show, whether it be a builder show. It doesn't matter. Wherever there are people. And when you walk down the aisle, what catches your eye? What impresses you? And, you know, what I've done, you know, I've actually just walked shows just to see their displays, to see what I like, to see what I don't like, because first impressions are everything. And not just in business, but as in, you know, in life as well. And there was a series of experiments done by Princeton psychologists who revealed, now get this, it takes less than 1 second to form an impression. 1 second to form an impression of a stranger from their face. So when you're out and about, what do you look like? Is your hair a mess? Are you wearing your workout clothes? If you're at an event, did you take the time to really, really look your best? Now, in my opinion, home parties, home events are gold. Why? Because they don't cost you anything. And I asked Eddie to come up with a cute slogan for some of our home parties, and he came up with wine, cheese, and shine with the 2-Minute Miracle Gel. And, of course, we did a flyer, and Shelley McGuire is releasing her home party system. I'm not sure if it's in the form of a workbook, but it is so detailed in how to do an effective home event. And it should be released this coming week. So watch for the Facebook posts, watch for emails, and please, please, please do check out our new Facebook page, which is facebook.com/2-Minute Miracle. And I also have forever50.net redirected to that page because we're experimenting right now. We just started yesterday with some pretty powerful social media technology that has not really been used yet in network marketing. So you want your home party to be fun, to be simple, most importantly, that anybody can duplicate. And what is so wonderful, because we build a global business. We're not like other companies where you're limited to the city or state in which you live. We're in 44 countries. So how easy is it, or would it be, to Skype in one of your upline partners? They could be in your living room literally every night of the week, whether you're doing a one-on-one or you've got a few people over. So please, please, please take advantage of your upline team, because the truth is they're going to be paid and compensated whether you ask them or not. So now let's talk about trade shows. And I don't know, probably 20 years ago, somebody dubbed me as the trade show queen, maybe because I was crazy enough to just keep doing them. And why did I do them? Because obviously I got results. And I haven't done a trade show in a while. So all the stuff that you're going to be seeing that we just did Thursday is all brand new, new and improved, if you will. So just imagine you're walking down the aisle of a trade show, and it doesn't matter what kind of a trade show or what kind of an event it is, but your eyes, where are they going? What makes you stop at someone's booth? What catches your attention? And you can do an event anywhere there is traffic. Now, in Zango University, I have an enormous amount of documentation on what it takes to prepare correctly for an event. In other words, is it a first-time event? How many vendors are there? Make them give you the list of the vendors that are exhibiting in their past events. How many people attended? And trust me when I tell you, they lie. They absolutely lie, because they count the vendors, they count the kids that attend. So whatever number they give you of attendance, just know it's probably an exaggerated number. So when you go to xuworldwide.com and you log in, there's an entire section on how to prepare for a trade show. And I'll probably update it specifically for now, the 2-Minute Miracle. But guess what? beauty in and out. In our booth, you'll see I also exhibited what? Zango juice, because you can't look ageless if you've got inflammation going on in your gut. And we also talked about the collagen, the marine collagen, the micronized marine collagen, because most of you may or may not know, because I sure as heck didn't know, that in our mid-20s, we start losing 1% of collagen a year. So at my age, I'm probably down to 0. But I did not know, not only does collagen affect your skin and how you look, but your heart, your brain, your connective tissue. It's the second most abundant protein in the body that you absolutely require to live longer, healthier. So this slide now is going to show examples of what a booth should not look like. Should not look like. And I'll never forget, I did a trade show. I believe it was in Austin, Texas, because I traveled like crazy to do these events. And it was with a former company. And as I was setting up my booth, the show promoter came over and he said, just wanted to introduce myself. And he says, I'm a little concerned. He said, I sure hope your booth is going to look a whole lot better than the person that did it last year. I said, really? What happened? He said, it was so bad that I actually used the photo of the booth of what a booth should not look like. I thought I could not believe it, that somebody who was a professional in our company at that time, this is pre-Zango, had a booth that somebody actually showed what a booth should not look like. So it is really, really important for you to have a first-class image. Now, I really talk about business etiquette because to me this is so important. So I'm going to ask you a question. How would you feel if you really worked hard preparing for your exhibit, your trade show? You spent hundreds of dollars, and someone from Zango, not paying, decided they were just going to walk the show and capture leads that basically were your leads, including other vendors. Now remember, the vendors there are business people. You have respect when you are a fellow vendor. And I always teach, especially if you've got 3-4 people in your booth, to rotate and take time to meet the other vendors. Why? Because you want to invite them over. Now, if somebody who didn't pay to be a vendor is walking that show and, excuse me for saying it, but stealing your potential leads, how would you feel? So here's what I recommend. If there is a show in your area, contact the show promoter and say, I would love to know what vendors are exhibiting. And if someone is exhibiting from Zango, especially with the 2-minute miracle, guess what? You don't go to that show. You don't walk that show. That's off limits because it's totally unprofessional for you to go and steal contacts from somebody else in Zango who paid to be there. Now, if no Zango person is there exhibiting, whether it be Zango or the 2-minute miracle, then by all means, walk the show. But remember, security is pretty tight, and we've had this happen where security actually escorted people out of the event if they were soliciting and handing out their cards and talking to other paid vendors about what they had. And what that does is gives a really, really, really bad name for our company. Does that make sense? Can everybody be professional? I sure hope so. Okay. Now, Zango has provided for us at their Zango Aries website. If you click on the link resources, it's just amazing how much is here for you to utilize. And if you scroll all the way down, because I didn't realize that they had the videos all the way down. So make sure you know where to access resources that you may need. And one of the most important resources, which I was so excited about, because I used to have to create these questionnaires. And, if you're not good on the computer and the layouts, it was an absolute nightmare. So make sure that you've got an abundance of questionnaires. And I put them on 6 different clipboards. And on the clipboard, not only do I have the questionnaire, I have the show special pricing, I have the ingredients, because there are people, rare, but there are people that will ask, well, what are the ingredients in this product? And there's no way you're going to remember them. I mean, there's just too many unique, difficult names to even pronounce. So make sure you have an abundance of these questionnaires, and always print your flyers in color. Image is everything. Don't go to Kinko's and photocopy. If you don't have an inkjet printer that does color, I mean, they're so inexpensive today. Either get a new printer or go to Kinko's, but it's much less expensive to do them at home. And I hope that makes sense. And I'll tell you what happened, and I said it to Cheryl as we were doing the show. I got, first event with the 2-Minute Miracle, and I noticed that I was having conversations and doing the hand demo or the hand, shine, whatever you want to call it, without first filling out the questionnaire. And I caught myself and I said, oh my goodness, you want to capture all of their information before you demonstrate the product, before you even talk about it. So this questionnaire is your first thing that you do after you introduce yourself. And I even created some questions. Now, on every piece of literature, these labels I created in Avery.com. Love free. Avery.com is free. And I did these 30 on a sheet, and I'm on a Mac. So if you've got a PC, I can't tell you how to do this, but I'm sure there are PC people that can tell you how to do this. But I took a screenshot, as you see, of one of the images from the Aries brand, and I put it on the label. Why? Because it looks gorgeous. Make sure you have your phone number. Make sure you have your email. Make sure you have your website that will direct them. And by the way, this is our new branded website. Please, please check it out. I would love your opinion. It's www.sandyanded.com. Again, image is everything. So make sure, no matter what you're handing someone, you've got your contact information on it, or you might as well just throw it in the trash. Now, when it came to doing a banner or banners, I know for me that when I'm walking a trade show, I look at the backdrops. I look at the banners. What's going to get my attention? So we did 2 banners. Do you think they look pretty good? Yes or no? Sweated bullets, redesigning and redesigning till we finally got it done. And Mrs. Google helped me find a banner manufacturer right here in Las Vegas, because I always use somebody in Arizona that was pretty pricey. And this guy and the truth is the guy in Arizona got so big. They do car wrapping and everything. They had a minimum of $1,000 order. Well, obviously I didn't need $1,000 worth of banners. So Mrs. Google helped me find a banner company right here in Vegas, and they're having a sale right now. So I got a killer deal, and they actually ship FedEx all over the country. So the artwork is done. If you like it, obviously, my dear friend, and Oria is on the phone, Willie Jackson, who is no longer with us, always called it R&D. R&D. If you like something someone is doing, he always said just R&D, which means rob and duplicate. Just fabulous. So the banners got done. Now the packages. Are you just going to put product on the table? Sure as heck hope not. So Amazon.com, we ordered these beautiful organza bags, and I had to order them 3 different times because what looked like the size I needed on the internet was the wrong size. So I've got literally hundreds of organza bags that I have no idea what I'm going to do with. I think I'm taking them to Philadelphia next week and giving them to all my daughter-in-laws and my granddaughter for jewelry because they're too small. But these are the 6x9, so make sure you get the 6x9 bags because they worked perfectly. So what did I put in this particular bag? Now, remember, we are not giving away anything. At least that's my decision, because in the past when I've given things away for free, I had to chase people. Did you use it? Didn't you use it? What do you think? So we are charging for our single-use treatments. I'm not calling them samples. That word is out of my vocabulary. These are single-use treatments. So what we decided to do, Zango has these gorgeous cards with instructions and a slot where you can put, I decided to put 3 single-use treatments in the card. So I put 2 in the card, and I left 1 out so people could see it, plus the business card, plus a collagen. Why? Why did I include a collagen? Because without collagen, your connective tissue is not going to repair itself. So I wanted people to see how delicious it was. And I think I have a slide that talks about what we were selling these packages for. Then we did another package that included the 2-Minute Miracle Gel, these little spatula sticks, again, Amazon, the card, some literature that we purchased when Aries launched, whenever it was that Aries launched. So in this particular package, we did 1 jar of the 2-Minute Miracle Gel, and we did 3 collagen. So we really gave them a great value. Now, in the booth, we also offered a complimentary facial request because I had one guy that said, I want to do a facial. And I said, no. I don't have time to do a facial, but you can fill out this form and we can arrange that later. So the form has on it a place for their name, their phone number, and their email. Now, my bad, because I should have had a sign, which I'll show you I just did, which we will have from this point forward. We were also having a drawing. And this was, again, the pink color scheme. enter to win, and I put it in a beautiful lucite holder with a pretty basket that you'll see. And this is the new flyer that I did that we will also put in a lucite holder. Just ask. Request a demo and make a request for a free mini facial. So as people are walking by, their eyes will gravitate to this sign so that they will ask about it. Now here comes the fun stuff. We're going to show you pictures of the booth. Now, there are some rules, and we talk about them in Zango University on doing a trade show correctly. No chairs in the booth. Absolutely no chairs, because you never sit down. If it's a 2-day event or a 3-day event, you've got to sit down to eat or whatever. You leave the booth. But if you notice, we bought these stools years ago at Walmart that fold. That's what you put your butt on, or have your attendee sit there and rest their feet. But if you're sitting on this stool, you are at eye level with the attendee. This is critical to be professional. You do not chew gum. You don't eat in the booth. You don't talk to each other. You don't have your back to the audience that's walking by. And if you see the beautiful aprons, this was Janelle and Anna and their idea. So again, I robbed and duplicated their idea, and it worked out fine. And what was really nice about the aprons, they had pockets, like Janelle said. So I was able to keep my breath spray in my pocket, my pen in my pocket. I even had my iPhone in my pocket for my cheat sheet, because you'll see there are certain words that I wanted to get comfortable with. Does all this make sense? And of course, the university has a lot of details. Now, here, as you can see, Cheryl brought her laptop, and I did I'll call it a PowerPoint, but it was a keynote, okay? Yes, Cheryl, you must wear comfortable shoes or you will die. So Cheryl brought her laptop, and I did an autoplay. So we had slides that were showing before and after pictures, the ingredients. And what I learned from this, and I should have known before after 20 years of doing this, nobody looks at the laptop. Nobody. It's like I could have bet on it that nobody would even look at it. So what I've done is I've created almost like a little booklet that next time we will leave on the table that people can flip through and we can hand to them when they ask, well, what are the ingredients? So for the next event, I'm not going to bother bringing a laptop. Now, as you see, pretty basket. You can't see a lot yet, but here we go. All right. So now look at the detail to elegance. You know, the questionnaire on the table on a clipboard, a picture of the a replica of the mangosteen, so that you can talk about it. Don't forget the men. The single-use treatments here, and then the full package is here. And notice the pink rosebuds. I mean, this to me, I was so excited about the pink rosebuds. I also ordered rose petals, but Amazon was back ordered, so they'll come whenever they get here. And of course, we have the jar on display so people can see the elegant, clear crystal packaging with the beautiful pink color inside. Now, this is the other side of the table. Now, you might want to say, Sandi, what is this? You know, these are latex gloves. Now, why do you think I had latex gloves sitting there? Why do you think I did that? Anybody know? Okay. The reason I did this is because I watched Shelley McGuire do all her training. And she explains, and I asked people, if you had a latex glove on your hand and then you applied your topical products, what would you expect to happen? And of course they would say, well, nothing. Well, that's the whole point. That's why you need the 2-minute miracle gel to peel off that layer to get to the new skin cells that regenerate about every 21 days to every 45 days, depending upon how old you are. So it's a great visual. Now, as you see, we've got the Zango juice, elegant white bottle sitting there. And a lot of people say, oh, my God, Zango. Is this Zango? Oh, I know about Zango. Oh, my goodness. I have a friend that used it. And, of course, we had the collagen, the 30 in a box. Now, look at the Lucite sign. Would you think this looks better than hanging this on a Zango box with Scotch tape? Of course. Come on. Image is everything. And, of course, we invested. You can't see it here, but under here, these are glass frosted blocks. And I can't remember if Eddie got them from Home Depot or Lowe's. But they were not expensive, and they are just gorgeous and professional. But understand, once I bought all this stuff, now I'm done. I've got it. I can use all of this at my home party or any event that I'm doing. And here's a closer look at including my honey, who volunteered to join us because he was going to take care of taking the cash through our, he had actually 2 devices just in case one didn't work to take credit cards. So that's something that you really need to be able to do is impulse buy. You want to be able to take credit cards. And I picked up some beautiful artificial pink flowers, a small little arrangement. Why did I do that? Just to make the display even more eye-catching. I mean, look at some of these displays back here. I mean, pretty gross. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, why would you? I mean, would that get your attention? Heck, no. And it's amazing, and Cheryl will validate this. We had so many guys. I mean, I was shocked. We had so many guys that initiated conversations like, what do you have here? So, questions. What do you say? I mean, this is critical. What do you say after you make eye contact and smile and reach out and shake their hand and say, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Sandi, and yours is? Okay, that is universal. And would you agree, if you knew what to say when somebody is looking at your booth, that's when you smile, make eye contact, and reach out to shake their hand. Otherwise, they may not stop. So you say initially, great to meet you. Would it be okay if I asked you a couple questions? I love that phrase. Would it be okay? And then I'd say, is it important for you to look your best? Who the heck is going to say no? They can say, no, I like looking like a slob. Okay. Is it important for you to look your best? Did you know it's possible to slow down and even reverse aging? And some people said yes. Some people said no. Some people said, I have no clue. Again, would you agree? Nothing is more important than living longer, healthier, feeling and looking great. They all say yes to that. Now, this is an important question because most people don't know the answer. Are you aware of the difference between skincare and cosmeceuticals? Now, you're supposed to know the difference. Are you aware? Now, who in the chat knows the difference between skincare and cosmeceuticals? So in parentheses, I put the difference. Skincare is applied topically, but does not change the skin's structure, appearance, or improve the skin. whereas cosmeceuticals are professional grade, often found in plastic surgeons' offices, master esthetician salons, but cosmeceuticals actually improve the structure of the skin below the surface. And then I said, you have 2 minutes to see the results or to get results. Really important, because that's all it takes. And then I said, I'm really curious, Amanda, whatever your name is, Amanda, what would you expect to pay for a group of products if you went to Macy's or Nordstrom's that do 7 things, like cleanse, exfoliate, tone, brighten, hydrate, minimize pores, and prime the skin? What would you expect to pay? And most people were in the range of $100, $80 to $100 to a couple $100. So that sets them up for me then to say, I think you're really going to be glad we met. How does that sound? Okay? Now, demo. Really, really important to know the words to use as you're doing the hand demo. And you say to them, this demo and how quickly it works will often depend on someone's pH, their temperature, the humidity, how much oil is in their skin, because the truth is everybody is different. And in the beginning, when I was doing my own treatments, I didn't even know how long 45 seconds was. I had to turn on my iPhone stopwatch because I couldn't judge how long 45 seconds was, and I'm usually multitasking. But you're going to use these words. As we do your demonstration, you're going to see dead skin coming off, while the ingredients are plumping your skin, and the fine lines are taking away the dry skin. And you'll be able to see the difference when we compare one hand to the other. And then you put one hand up against the other and say, look at the difference. Look how bright and smooth. Feel your hand that just had the demo. Look how resilient the skin looks. And often even the color changes, but really sorry, but your other hand looks pretty creepy. And as we age, the hands are the first telltale of aging. So, Amanda, not only have we taken away the dead skin, but we've infused all the great anti-aging ingredients. So your new skin shines through. And when you do it on your face, you've plumped the fine lines. You've removed all the dirt and debris from the surface. And the hydration of your skin looks so improved. So this takes some practice. And what I did was I actually put this in notes in my iPhone so I could shoot in the beginning until I got it down pat. Okay, so here are the show special pricing that I came up with because people love a deal. So I let them know, and this is retail, obviously, and when they go, and I gave them my shopping cart, which is at retail. So the Eris 2-Minute Miracle retail is $55. The single-use facial treatments, and I'm going to change that to single-use treatments, because what if you're using it on cradle cap, or you're using it on eczema, or you're using it on your feet or your hands? We also gave a price for the marine collagen, also a price for a box of the Zango juice. And here was the show special pricing. So I listed what 1 month supply of the 2-Minute Miracle was, which is $55. and the 3 micronized collagen complex retail was $10.50. So regular price was $65.50. But today only, while we're here, show special of $55. So you're basically getting $10.50 worth of product for free. And for the single facial treatments or the single-use treatments, 3 are $10. And then we added, actually, I think I only added 1 collagen, so I have to fix that slide. Only 1 collagen. But we sold that, and maybe I did put 3 in there, and I can't even remember now. I'll have to go back and look. But the show special was $10, and nobody blinked an eye hesitating to spend $10 to get the single-use treatment. So here is, lost connection. Okay. So why are you at this event? Why are you there? If you have the intention that you're really there to make friends, to build relationships, to connect with like-minded people. And that night, Thursday night, or maybe, it was yesterday, I got a Facebook post from this delightful woman that I met by the name of Nancy. And here's what she said to me on Facebook. Meeting you was the highlight of my evening. Can you believe that? Meeting you was the highlight of my evening. Now, do you think that alone was worth it? Because we're now friends. We are going to get together next week. But she's only one of many people that I met that I felt that kind of new friend connection with. And this is really important to understand, because it's not really about pushing sales. It's about giving value and developing a relationship. Now, here's a young man by the name of John. I think he said he was 66 years old. He came over to us. I didn't even get a chance to, reach out and shake his hand. And he came over and said, "What's this all about?" Turns out he goes to a plastic surgeon. I'm recommending my esthetician to him. And after we did the little hand demo, he said, "Well, how much is it?" And, of course, I told him the show special. And he said, and then I said, "Do you want 1 or 2? And he said, "Oh, absolutely, I need 2. I need 1 to share with my bride, with my wife." So he purchased 2, not 1. And we're going to get together socially. Again, another friend. He fell in love with Ed. They're both golfers. I mean, it was just an amazing connection. So, again, a lot of this will be posted, especially this webinar, in the back office of Zango University. So you can check that out. And when you're a subscriber of Zango University, obviously, we teach what we do. We teach what works compared to people who teach and don't do. So would you agree that you might want to shortcut your success and avoid costly mistakes? Because mistakes are expensive. And when you subscribe to Zango University, you also get the marketing site, agiftfromus.com. And this is the demo site. And it also has now the 2-Minute Miracle, and our web guys are adding the link here to order now, and it'll go right to your retail shopping cart. So we're also developing some other social media things that I think you're going to be pretty excited about. Okay, so this trade show is done. You've got a ton of questionnaires, business cards. You have all heard the saying, the fortune is in the follow-up. Guys, I can't tell you how valuable that statement is. But the sad, scary reality is 48% of people, that means half the people that get a lead, never follow up with that potential customer or business partner. Only 25% of people make a second contact and then they stop. Only 10% of people make more than 3 contacts. And at the very bottom, as you see, 80% of sales are made on the 12th contact. 12. So if they say no immediately, it just means no, not now. So my question to you is this: what are you doing with all those little pieces of paper or all those business cards? What are you doing with them? And if you have a computer, and I would have to assume if you're on this webinar, you've got a computer that has an email program that has a contact app in it. Every single person that you ever meet should go into your list of contacts, and I create groups, and then I create email lists. But let me tell you the real secret. I mean, and I, I'm just as bad as everybody, finding pieces of paper in my pocketbook, in a second pocketbook. Where did I meet this person? I can't even remember because I didn't put notes on it. And when you do those questionnaires, make sure you put detailed notes, because there is no way, even the next day, you're going to remember who they are and what you talked about. So when you have those leads, critical to follow up within 24 to 48 hours. If you wait any longer, it diminishes the results. And trust me when I tell you this, because I've been doing this a long time. So last night, we've added all my contacts into my contact manager. Now, today, this afternoon, I am going to text every one of them, and I've got it. I'm going to pre-write it, and it's just a matter of copy and paste, and I'm going to include a photo of my business card. Why am I going to do that? Because it has my picture on it. And, I learned something probably 23 years ago from a dear friend of mine who's a realtor, and she said to me, do you know why realtors put their photograph on their business cards? Does anybody know that answer? Do you know why a realtor puts their photograph on their business card? Anybody know? That's right. Oh, Collie's here. Yes, because psychologically, people are hesitant to throw away a card that has your picture on it. So really, really important when you design your business card, include a photo of yourself. And then I put that person into my email contact list. We also have an autoresponder. If you don't have one, it's about time that you did. And the university is going to be launching something pretty spectacular. We're testing it right now. We're actually testing 2 different social media platforms. And then you make sure in that text message, you send them your links to if you have a personal website, and your Facebook business page. You need to do this. When? Within 24 to 48 hours. If you delay, you reduce the likelihood of anything positive happening. And remember this, when you're on Facebook, this is what I learned 4 years ago. Content is king. This is critical. You're not pitching your stuff. You're not vomiting on people about how great Tango is and how great the products are. And somebody is not on mute. So if you could please do that, that would be great. But content is king. And even more important is to have the mindset to give value without expecting anything in return. These are the people that are truly successful in social media. And we're almost out of time, and I'm almost done. So I remember listening to an audio cassette tape, which has to be maybe 18 years ago. And the guy on the tape said this: if you do not embrace technology, those who do will leave you in the dust. If you do not embrace technology, those who do will leave you in the dust. Now, if you're my generation, we didn't grow up with technology. The kids today are born cable ready. I mean, give a 2-year-old an iPad, and they don't have to go to Apple classes forever to figure it out. They just do. So just know that it is a little painful learning new stuff, but you have to do it. You have to bite the bullet. You have to go through that learning curve so that you can build the business and lifestyle of your dreams. Does that make sense? And the university is going to be providing tons of training for those who want to be ahead of the curve and utilize technology. Remember, we're not just in the United States. We're not just in Canada. We are a global business, and you can reach out to people and invite them to look at what we have anywhere in the world. I mean, this is totally beyond. I mean, you know, I grew up with Flash Gordon. You know, I don't know if anybody here remembers Flash Gordon, but, you know, it was like, you know, the book by, I can't remember who wrote the book, 1984, but that was like, you know, the futuristic stuff, and we've gone way, way, way beyond that. So in closing, believe that you can do this. Believe if you commit to constant and never-ending improvement. And obviously, learn from those who already are doing it, because if you want what they've got, then you need to do what they do so you can get what they've got. So let's finish this year strong, because what you do, I mean, it's the end of October. You've got 2 months till the new year. What you do now for the next 60 days will set you up for the rest of your life. So have that mindset, not to be good, not even to be great, but to be exceptional. So it means sacrifice. Whatever it is that you need to do, you have to set your hair on fire and have the courage that success is not simple. Success is not easy. It's ups and downs. It's trying stuff that may or may not work, but that's how you learn. And refuse to accept mediocrity, and have a philosophy for living great and live a life with no regrets, because nothing is worse than looking back and saying, I wish I coulda, woulda, dida. So thank you for all being here. I'm going to now end this because I've got another call. Thank you. If you have any questions that I don't have time to answer in the Q&A, because I've got another conference call I'm 2 minutes late for, just send an email to zangouniversity@gmail.com. If somebody could type that in, Mark, or or Tom, Zango University at gmail.com. Now remember, your minimum daily contacts, whether it's 3 a day or 10 a day. That's what helps you to get and achieve your goals. Appreciate you all. Have an amazing weekend, and we will see you next week.